dress van, Biggie Smalls. Listen.
I'm similar to the thriller in Manila. Honeys call me bigger, the condom filler. Whether it's stiff tongue or stiff dick, Biggie squeeze it to make shit fit. Now check this shit, I got the pack of rough riders in the back of the Pathfinder. You know the epilogue by James Todd Smith. I get swift with the lyrical gift. Hit you with the dick, make your kidney shift. Here we go, but I'm not domino. I got the funk flow to make your drawers drop slow. So recognize the dick size in these Coincatch jeans. I wear 13s, know what I mean? I fuck around and hit you with the Hennessy dick. Mess around and go blind, don't get to see shit. The next batter, here to shatter your blatter, it doesn't matter. Skinny or fat or light skinned or black, baby, I drop these. Beneath with my me, screaming, I poppy. I love it when they call me Big Pop, but I only smoke blunts if they roll prop. But look, I got ya caught up with the drunk flow. Fuck taekwondo, I told a fofo. For niggas getting mad cause they bitch chose me. A big black motherfucker with G. You see, all I do is separate the game from the truth. Big bang boots from the Bronx to Bolivia. Getting physical like Olivia Newt. Tricks up my click dick all day with no trivia. So give me a bankroll and a bag of weed. I'm guaranteed to fuck her till her nose bleed. Even if your new man's a certified Mac, you get that H-Town in you. You want that old thing back?
Like B-I-double-G-I-E with some new R-U-L-E. Notorious, known for busting in your E-Y-E. Baby, baby, bitches know they love to hate me. I come, you come, we come, with backs and maybe. How close we came to coming together is crazy. How come you witnesses make similar faces? When y'all come and y'all be crying like I'm killing y'all bitches. I know there's a bigger picture than the camera roll. Cause I don't think y'all be knowing how this shit's unfolding. Back shots to the rear, got the Mac unloading. Gotta reload like every so often. Saying I got my swagger back. I'm looking like bitch, my swagger never left. Don't be so hard pressed to be impressed by these new rappers. They actors and the fact is, you want that old thing back.
Like Scarface and Bushwick, Willie D, having nightmares of girls killing me. She mad because what we had didn't last. I'm glad because her cousin let me hit the ass. Fuck the past, let's dwell on the 500 SL, the E and J and ginger ale. The way my pockets swell to the rim with Benjamins. Another hund's in the crib, please send it in. I fuck non-stop, lick my lips a lot. Used to lick the clips a lot, but licking clips has to stop. Cause y'all don't know how to act when the tongue go down below. Peep the funk flow, really go. I got the cleanest, meanest penis. You never seen this, stroke of genius. So take off your Tim boots and your bodysuit. I mean the spandex, and hit my man next. Sex get rougher when they come to the nut buster. Pussy crusher, black nasty motherfucker. I don't chase them, I replace them. And if I'm caressing them, I'm undressing them. Fuck what you heard, who's the best in New York? Fulfilling fantasies without that nigga Mr. Raw. Or tattoo, I got you wrapped around my dick. And when I'm done, I got the split shit.
What's up, everybody, and happy Monday. Trying something new today. I'm multi-streaming on both X and YouTube. Right now, I'm still trying to figure out the kinks. I have both live stream chats up, but if you can, try and watch on X, chat with X. It's just easier. I'm having some issues with Streamlabs at the moment. I don't know if I need to update it or what, but I just figured this would increase outreach, increase the amount of people that can see it. It's probably easier to view on X anyways. But for those of you that are new or haven't seen or know that I live stream, generally I live stream on YouTube Monday, Wednesday, Friday around this time, 5:30 Eastern. I recently changed the stream time to 5:30 Eastern just so it fits the majority of people's schedules. What's up, Colin? Oh, and I can actually see both chats from both YouTube and X. I just realized that. What's up, Tatty? Circa? Steven, what's up? So, this is pretty cool. I did X is pretty easy, awesome. So just let me know if I need to fix audio or anything. I had it set everything for YouTube. It should be okay on X. Again, I'm not 100% sure. But just let me know if anything needs to be worked out. Just send me a DM, say, hey man, like this wasn't working, or on YouTube it was really slow. Whatever it might be, I'll make sure I check it out. Yeah, Steven, so I used to live stream on YouTube. Now I still am live streaming on YouTube. Part of the reason why I'm still doing YouTube is I'd like the videos to still be there. There are people that don't get a chance to view them when we live stream, specifically my European friends that might be asleep right now. They like to wake up and watch the live stream because basically from now until they wake up, not a lot happens. Anytime, Steve. So, all right, for anyone that's new, we've got a lot of people today. Love seeing 300 viewers. Just moving forward, just so everyone knows, I am going to do this every single time. I plan on multi-streaming. You can, again, watch YouTube or X. I will still see the comments. I did not know. I have one screen that shows everything, which is really cool. What's up? Yes, sir. Love seeing the guys that are normally here. If you're new again, this is new, right? To X. I've always live streamed on YouTube. But let's get into things while we get more comments and stuff. So we always start out with the S&P 500. And again, I'm assuming there's a lot of new people here. We start with the S&P, go to the DXY, possibly hit the total charts, hit Tether dominance, Bitcoin dominance, Ethereum, and maybe some alts. The whole reason we do a multitude of charts is to tie in everything together. So, for example, if the S&P is moving up, the DXY is moving down, what should Bitcoin be doing, right? Bitcoin generally follows the S&P, and if the DXY is also moving down, Bitcoin should also move up because they move inversely. Just a basic example, but figured I'd cover that. Perfect time. Spot is here in Australia. What's up, man? Glad you're here. Let's do this. So we started talking last week, and maybe some of you guys can help me out with this. I don't know if this is divergence. And before we get oh my goodness, it looks like divergence. Here's my issue, right? You have an A, a B, and I am a terrible drawer and terrible artist, so mind you, a B and a C, right? From A to B, we actually had, and here you have A, B, C. So from A to B, we actually formed what I would consider divergence. We had this kind of deep red candle here. And my question is, did that divergence sort itself? Because then we moved upwards from there. Now, my next question is, which is the divergence? Was it from A to B or is it from A to C? Because you could argue that now we have divergence between A and C. But if that divergence already played out from A to B, the A to C doesn't matter. Does that make sense? So, maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't. Guys, divergence is one indicator. It doesn't mean that the market's going to crash. It doesn't mean that our uptrend is over. And it doesn't mean that, we're entering a bear market. What it means is, should we be expecting a deeper correction? Because ultimately we're expecting some cool off, or we're very overbought, or we're approaching overbought levels. Now, when you look at MACD as well, you do have some divergence here. But again, you have that kind of hump in the middle. Did this divergence already sort itself? So, Taddy, you're saying A to C is divergence. I need Bitcoin to wait 2 more weeks before Moon. I mean, hopefully we get something like more like easier to detect in terms of moving upwards. I think we will. And I'd love to see alts. I'd love to see alts do well this summer, and we'll get into that as well. So you think A to C is the divergence? Okay. And again, this isn't like an attack at you, but like why? I just want to know why. Why isn't it A to B? Now, is B even a hump and it's just, you know, we did this? So basically what I'm saying is we just did this and your B here doesn't even matter. I'm guessing that would be the right answer, right? What's up, Peter? How's it going? How's it going? So I don't know if... Okay, so Streamlabs, the bot is still working. That's cool. I can like literally change from YouTube to multi-stream. That's really cool. Again, for anyone that's new here, we just started, or I just started multi-streaming between X and YouTube. Oh, it even shows up in the multi-stream. That's really cool. B is part from A, wave C. Okay, that's kind of what I figured. So we're going to roll with that. So we're going to remove everything and roll with that. So this is where I'm at, right? And just to give more of an example, we'll go to the Dow Jones on what I expect to happen next. And actually, I'll do this just so you guys can see the side by side. So the Dow Jones has been, if we open it, the Dow Jones is moving sideways and has already sorted. We had those bearish divergences here. We came back down, created a higher high, created equal lows in RSI, which is technically bullish divergence. Now we're just ranging for higher, right? Is SPX lagging? Right? Is SPX... And look, just because you have divergences don't mean they have to play out every single time. Generally they do, but they don't have to. So we're going to say this is A to B, and we do have divergences there, right? And we should expect some kind of pullback, because you can even see them in MACD. Again, I had the original question. I guess we can roll with this for now. I think C was market makers calling short stop losses. That would make sense as well. B is inside wave C. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. So either way, SPX is showing some, I wouldn't say uptrend weakness in a scary sort of way, but it looks like we need a pullback. If we have these divergences, they're present, unless we just continue moving up, which we have not formed a red candle yet, right? We could continue moving up. RSI would move up, and we would not get those divergences. Then, you know, we're still looking at a very strong uptrend. If not, we're probably looking at something similar to the Dow, where we have this slightly higher high, a lower high in RSI, obviously lower highs in MACD, and we need to move sideways to continue higher. I would also argue we need to start building volatility, right? It would be nice to get some consolidation. Guys, we're in a very slow period of the summer. A lot of people start taking vacation. A lot of people, you know, there's a lot of holidays, nice weather. The summer is usually pretty slow, which is, again, why I'd expect alts to do pretty well right now. There's not a lot of trading volume. You don't need all that money put in to push Bitcoin when you can put it into maybe something like Link or Tau or any of these AI coins. The multi-stream is a great idea. Yeah, it seems like it. We've got a bunch of viewers. Really happy to see all of this. This is awesome. And again, I know there's a lot of new people. There's over 500 people here right now. If there are any issues on either stream, please DM me, let me know. For anyone that's new and didn't know that I streamed, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday around 5:30 Eastern. And recently that time changed. If you missed the stream or anything, you can go back to YouTube and look. There's always a posted version of the full live stream that you could check out. So, okay. We're saying that's divergence. So what's next, right? In my opinion, we need to see a pullback, build volatility, maybe retest prior resistance as support here. mean, ultimately, if we just move sideways at all, we're looking fine, right? Create bullish divergences here, where now you're creating maybe equal or lower, slightly lower lows, creating a maybe a bull flag, whatever it might be, so that you can continue higher, right? SPX momentum has weakened. I mean, yeah, that comes with the divergence, right? We've already talked about not only RSI, but MACD's moving averages. If MACD's moving average has divergences, so will momentum, just as a given. So, okay, we should expect some pullback over the next couple weeks then. May or may not be a good thing for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's kind of been doing its own thing. Like, SPX has been on a tear to the upside, and Bitcoin hasn't done anything. So I almost wonder if SPX corrects and Bitcoin continues its uptrend, like liquidity kind of transfers from SPX to maybe crypto, or like the major equities, right, to crypto. But anyways, let's move to the DXY. So last week we discussed the idea of a double top. This morning, and for those of you who don't know, I do a private analysis every morning with people on Patreon. It's a lot more in depth than the streams, but anyways, we were fully red this morning. Now we've kind of recovered. If we continue to recover a bit more and we put in that high, again, I think we'll make some kind of a double top. I mean, there's a lot of time left in the week. Stocks are pumping, Bitcoin's pumping. It almost seems like this isn't going to happen. Like, this double top scenario is not going to happen. What I'd like to see is this start to get down to 104 and see what happened at 104. Because if we can break below 104, we're solid, right, in terms of macro upward direction for crypto and stocks. They are calling for a green July. Well, we really haven't had anything green in the last 4 months in crypto. Everything's moved sideways. Been very, very boring. But DXY, let's take a look at the daily. So originally we had, oh wow, that sucks. We originally broke down through our ascending wedge. Again, we had this double top here. The good thing is we've retested the midpoint of that double top, right? Our confirmation point. Breakdown retest should continue lower, ultimately. Not really seeing any reversal signs to the upside yet. Not a lot of indication on the daily, unfortunately. Daily just kind of looks like the weekly. Could make a double top. Would be a really weird looking double top though. But this 4 hour is important. As long as we hold this this double top here, we should see continuation to the downside. They might dump for 3 weeks, then pump and make a monthly doji. I mean, maybe. I think trying to assume what will happen a month from now or 30 days from now, like, you have to use the data that's kind of in front of you to forecast what you believe will happen in some way. I might botch your name, but Thonla. Good morning. In Sydney, it's morning time. Here, it's the evening. Okay. Sorry, I need to silence the phone. It's getting blown up. What about the Russell 2000? We don't really look at the Russell 2000, not as much, because and I would in my private analysis. Usually for the public live streams, I only look at SPX, DXY. You have to remember, when you're presenting in front of a lot of people that may or may not know confluence, chart confluence, macro, somewhat complicated concepts, I want to keep it as basic and easy to understand as possible. You have to be insane to think that any of these lines in this chart really matter. Price is just a human behavior that can change any time in any direction. If you think any different, you need to stop. Okay, well, that's an interesting take. My counter to that is, I've been doing this for 10 years, and a lot of these lines and patterns actually follow human behavior, and that's why they work. You also have other indicators you could use. I mean, my other counter argument is, if you don't think it works, why are you here? It's like, if you don't believe in ghosts, why are you watching a show about ghosts? Like, you don't believe they're real, so why are you wasting your time? You don't think based on the monthly closing this month, the DXY will continue? So ultimately, I think the DXY will continue upwards. But what I don't think is it will happen soon. My macro view is, yes, a couple years from now, the DXY will continue upwards. Probably 2 years, I'd say. Maybe less. But right now, and there are fundamental and technical reasons for this, a lot of it being they're not going to crash the market before the presidential election. And I would assume the first year of Trump's presidency, if Trump wins, again, I think Trump will win. We watched the debate the other night. I think he wins. Whether you like him or not, come on. Like, did you watch the debate? It was very bad for Biden. And Democrats are scrambling around trying to figure out what to do. But if Trump wins, I think the markets will react very positive. I think the first year we'll see up only. And then we're going to start to realize all of these painful things that are looming above us, like debt, inflation, interest rates, you name it, right? We're walking into the end of a 15-year-long bull run. And eventually it's going to come down. It's just, when is it going to come down? Behavior of humans who coordinate their actions to some extent based on patterns are forming on the charts. All right. Gonna keep moving on. So total. I'm gonna only look at total one, maybe total two today. So we've got a couple things here. Very important. And guys have been tweeting this. I've been saying this for over 4 months. All this is a range for higher. All we're doing is ranging for higher. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's nothing that suggests the beginning of a downtrend or the end of an uptrend. Moreover, we have 3 realms of bullish divergence in RSI. We have 3 realms of bullish divergence between price, right? We're making higher lows, right? We're making lower lows in RSI. Very, very, very bullish. We also have bullish price action continuation. We have volume going down as price is going down or sideways. Really, it's both down and sideways, right? We haven't really done anything in 4 months. But from point A to point B, we have moved down and slightly sideways, right? From A to B, volume has gone down significantly. Guys, I'm going to say this out loud, and I know I've tweeted this already. Maybe some of you know, but bottoms and tops are usually dictated with high trading volume. We have had the lowest trading volume last week and this week. The lowest trading volume in the last 2 years, right? Like if you go to where Bitcoin is and I'm just going to draw a very easy to see line. 2 weeks ago, we were there. This is going to be tough because, yeah, I figured that line was going to do that. Ignoring the wash trading that occurred here, we're just going to look at basically April, 2023 to now. The lowest point in volume, right? Very, very, very low volume. Guys, bottoms and tops don't happen on low volume. If you think about 2021, right? This is some of the craziest retail, craziest alt trading that we've ever seen, right? And then we got the confirmation of the downside. We got the ascending wedge. We got the head and shoulders. We had all of the bearish divergencies. Everything was there to lean into ultimately the 2021 May crash. For those that are new and haven't seen this, you just open up a daily chart. I mean, you have a spitting ascending wedge here, breakdown, retest, continue. You have a head and shoulders here, right? You have ultimately bearish divergences as we're creating higher highs. I mean, the signs of exhaustion were all there. It is quite funny to me that people blamed Elon Musk for that crash. What are my thoughts on NVIDIA price action? I'll look at NVIDIA real quick because we were talking like macro. We were talking like macro equities, and honestly, NVIDIA is pretty much carrying the NASDAQ. As for price action, like price movement, I think that we're about to see some sideways consolidation. or at least some slight downside to continue higher. You have bearish divergences in RSI and price. You have volume kind of dropping off here. Not to mention we're up, just in the last like couple months, we're up 100%. It just seems like this thing is going to correct at some point. I mean, the signs of correction are, maybe it doesn't, right? Nvidia is going crazy. Maybe it's going to pull what some of these altcoins have pulled in 2021. We'll get to my thoughts on alt summer soon. We're still not even through most of charts yet. So guys, don't worry. We'll talk about all of that. It's coming. For those of you that are new, we basically go through the SPX, DXY, total, Tether dominance, Bitcoin dominance, which we'll talk about, potential altcoin movements, Ethereum to Bitcoin, and potentially some other altcoins, just depending on how much time we have left. So, all right, back to total. And back to discussing, what are we looking at in terms of trend continuation? And we have all of those signs there, right? We have the bullish divergences in RSI and price. We have the bullish price action continuation, right? Why haven't we pumped yet? Or when will we? I know the stream title is Bitcoin's getting ready to moon soon, right? I want you guys to look specifically at Bollinger Bands, and I'm going to open up Bitcoin for this example and remove all of the drawing. And again, total and Bitcoin are basically following the same thing. I just want a clean chart. So when we first peaked at 74K, right? From bottom to top band, you were 60% apart, right? That is very, very low volatility. You need to create volatility to break the ceiling to move higher, right? We were basically at the ceiling. So, okay, fast forward 4 months. What's happened, right? Our bands have gone from 60 to now 23% apart. Volatility is building. It is almost time to run. It is almost time to moon. I'm telling you, all of the signs of uptrend continuation are there. Look, I'm open to being wrong if that's the case. I haven't seen anything that suggests a trend reversal in terms of higher time frame. Look, lower time frame, you're going to have day-to-day moves within this larger, higher time frame range. But higher time frame's sake, there's no reason to sell your spot yet, especially if you're someone that's bought sub 30K, right? All of this is saying that we're just moving sideways for higher, essentially. Let's keep moving on. Back to Tether dominance. So another kind of point of confluence with the overall idea that we have uptrend continuation from the majority of crypto. First things first, we're building that volatility with Bollinger Bands, right? We were extremely far apart from the bottom to top band when we first kind of quote-unquote bottomed. We were 43% apart. Now we are 25% apart. So we've been building volatility for the last several weeks. Thanks for explaining the process of how to observe the market, S&P, DXY, and then crypto. So, and again, taking a step back from this, the reason why we look at this is to tie everything together, find chart confluence, because you can't just look at Bitcoin and say, oh, I think this is going to happen because of this. You get more confidence if you know that the other charts are also showing bullish continuation, and this is, or bearish continuation or reversal, right? And this is where Tether dominance is so important. If Tether is also showing bearish continuation or a strong downtrend, and Bitcoin showing a strong uptrend, that is confluence, right? The two are agreeing with each other. Yes, they're inverted, right? They're the inverses of each other, but the overall trend direction is agreeing. And what I mean by that is just like with Bitcoin and total, where you have bullish divergences, you have bearish divergences here on Tether dominance, right? You have 3 levels. You have lower highs and higher highs on RSI. You also have bearish price action, right? You have volume going down as price is moving up back into retesting prior, and again, we acted as support here. Prior support is now new resistance. All this was a breakdown, retest to continue lower. That's all it is. Very, very basic. There's nothing complicated about what's going on here. I know a lot of you are like, oh, those indicators, they're so basic. Like, why do you use them? There's other stuff. Well, in terms of depicting and determining macro trend direction. These are the easiest to use and the easiest to explain. And honestly, I think they're the most accurate. Check 1 hour RSI Bitcoin. We'll check all of that when we get to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's next. Real quick, let's just take a look at the daily, the 4 hour, and the 1 hour, just to see if there's anything reversal wise. And again, if tether dominance, let's say we're on the 4 hour and we have a double top, right? And Bitcoin has a double bottom. Again, that's kind of a guise to take longs on Bitcoin. Absolutely. So I see there's, oh, thanks, Lord. I appreciate it. So I see there's well over 1,000 people here. Really appreciate it. It looks like the multi-stream was a good idea. For those of you that are new, because I believe most of you are new, I live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday around 5:30 Eastern. Again, we go over kind of the same stuff. I mean, it's just a general update. Sometimes I'll point out trades and reversals and potentials and price movement. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of that since we just kind of dumped and bounced. But we're trying to find it, right? We're almost playing detective, trying to find chart confluence. Today, we're going over kind of a macro view because we had that dump last week. And we did just confirm another point of trend continuation. So I think alt summer, just big caps will move faster. So I think alt summer is more of just like Ethereum, Link, Solana. So yeah, some of the big caps, some of the ones that have shown just a general strength over the last several months. This is not a scalper channel. No. So this is more of a swing trade and macro long-term trading. So realistically with swing trading, yes, you could hold for a couple days to a couple weeks to a couple months. It just depends on what you're seeing. I mean, if the 4 hour gives me something or the 1 hour gives me something that's very confident, I will absolutely take it. And if we see it on stream, I'll call it out. Like, absolutely. But no, this is not I'm not going to pull the 15-minute up and scalp for you guys. That's not what I do. I'm not good at it. Personally, I think scalping this market's a gigantic waste of time. Scalping and day trading in general, because there's so many funky things that happen in crypto. Realistically, the ranges can be so small where the risk reward is never in your favor. Like a 2-to-1 reward to risk is never worth taking. Like, I'm sorry, it's not. Because you also have to factor in how much are you winning versus losing, especially if you're scalping. And we're also not robots. There are bits and pieces of emotions. Plus, there's all the fuckery that happens in crypto, right? You guys have seen it. I've seen it. There's random large moves up and down. What is my favorite exchange, in all honesty, that you find secured and safe for U.S. investors? So at the moment, and I know this is going to sound biased, Coincatch. And a lot of that has to do, and look, I'll be realistic with you, a lot of it has to do because I'm tied in with their CEO, their board, a lot of the BDs that are there. So if anything weird, sketchy, or if just anything happens, right, I will know. And look, to all of you that use the exchange and are under my referral ID, like, I'm going to tell you, like I have with both BingX and Mexi, right? I've told you that something weird was happening with Mexi, and I got rid of my partnership. I made that public. I said, look, I'm not involved with Mexi. This exchange is weird. I'm out. With BingX, now I was early into being a partner with BingX. I didn't like how they were locking people out, right after they KYC'd or before they KYC'd, especially if you didn't have a VPN. So for me, I thought that was kind of sketchy. Yes, they have the right to do so, but that's not that's like on moral grounds, that's just pathetic. So for me, I left. I said, look, I don't want anything to do with this. You can't just screw people over like that. So yeah, back to like my favorite exchange. I mean, look, you can never go wrong with Coinbase. Look, if you wanted futures trade, I think Coincatch, right? Not to mention, every time I try to promote something with Coincatch, I'm like, hey, like, my guys would love 40% off fees for a month. Like, they say yes. Or they don't just say yes. They say, okay, let's check with our budget team and check if we can, do this. And after they check, they go, okay, yeah, we can do it. Then we do it, right? there's checks and balances. It seems like they're more professional. I don't know. I mean, look, my thing with FTX, that CEO, Sam, the guy was sketchy from the beginning. The guy was going like this, right? He's doing this all the time. Every time he talks, he's tweaking. Like, do you really trust someone like that? Not to mention all the celebrities involved. It just seemed too good to be true. And look, I feel really bad for those of you that were affected by FTX. I'm not saying that, that I don't feel bad or that you're dumb, but I kind of spotted it from a mile away. Like, this is not right. Like, there's something not right going on here. Thanks, Amro. You're using Coincatch as my link, no problem at all. Yeah, I mean, look, if there's any problems with Coincatch, trust me, I will be fully vocal about it. And another thing, I've met the Coincatch team in person. I've met all of them. Me and Castillo have met all of them. They're not, like, look, if it was an exchange I was working for and I've never met them and I don't know where they live, in general, where in the world, that would be weird, right? That means they're kind of hiding. Or I don't know where the CEO is. Like, the CEO's just vanished, right? No one knows who the CEO is. Or I've met all of them. I haven't really found anything that's turned my gut upside down, so to speak, right? Like, some of these exchanges, you have the CEO isn't the actual CEO. It's someone controlling from a different country. And that's where you start to get a little weird, right? Yeah, the FTX Sports Center was a big red flag. Yeah, I'd agree. Thank you so much, Roman. Oh, anytime. Let's get back to some of this analysis. Looking at the 4 hour. Not really seeing much here, guys. Not really seeing much of, like, reversal indications to take trades on Bitcoin at the moment. And for those of you that, again, are new, I haven't taken a trade in almost 45 days. We've been patiently waiting. The 1 hour, this looks interesting. The 1 hour on Tether has a double bottom. Potentially. Obviously, you got to confirm it above that midpoint. So let's take a look at Bitcoin's. We'll look at Bitcoin's 1 hour first, just to see if we can find confluence. So here we go. Check this out. So this is why chart confluence goes a long way, right? This is why looking at multiple charts and goes a long way. So look, I've been busy this week, guys. I have not been looking at a 1 hour or a I look at the 4 hour, but I have a lot of family in town. It's a U.S. holiday this week, and to be fair, I don't think there's going to be a lot of action this week. Anyways, but regardless, you have a double top on Bitcoin with bearish divergences here, and you have a double bottom on Tether dominance with bullish divergences there, right? Equal lows in price, higher lows in RSI. Equal lows in price, lower lows in RSI. This is where I would say, hey, look for a short. And now, if you didn't get in on that right side top, now obviously you can't long Tether dominance. But for Bitcoin, let's say, hey, I'm looking for a short trade on Bitcoin, right? We know the confluence is there. If you're looking for that short trade, take the short here, right? Right when we enter that kind of left side top, stop loss above the wick. If price kind of floats down, if we bounce, I'd immediately take profit, right? Once we kind of get to this midpoint, I'd move my stop loss to break even or wherever I shorted. But if we broke down through this, you could potentially add to the trade or move your stop into profit, because now it's a valid reversal and we're likely going to, again, head back into support, which is my general view. I know this is the 1 hour and we see that kind of trade setup, but if I go to the daily, guys, real quick, all we've done, and I made this tweet this morning, all we've done is dump, bounce into prior support, turning it into resistance again. We did the same thing over here several different times before ultimately reverting, going to 72, and then back down to support. And moreover, guys, all we've been doing is ranging for 4 months. So you're almost ranging in a range in a range, right? It's like a weird domino effect. Optimism about the whole economy is needed. Not only large cap companies, but Russell 2000 needs to be breaking out into new all-time high, waiting for that risk on triggering event that gets set off. And maybe I'll look at the Russell 2000 tonight and determine if we can add it. This is what I was talking about for 1 hour RSI bearish divergences. Yeah, and I would agree with you 100%. Plus, there's the potential double top. Plus, you know, just being an experienced trader, like generally speaking, you hit support, you bounce, right? You go back, revisit, and create some kind of range here, right? Where we determine, are we going to break through the macro range, or are we going to break out and maybe continue ranging or completely break out, right? My gut and my feeling, especially knowing that the higher time frames are very bullish and showing trend continuation, I'm thinking we get something like this, right? And I'm going to actually grab these candles and move them over just to kind of show what the potential is. So this is an example I love to show. It's just a clean reversal coming off of a downtrend. So obviously Bitcoin went from 29 to 52K, right? From 52 all the way back down to 40. Nice little correction. Bam, bam, right? We range, right? And within this range, what do we get? We get a perfect double bottom. And if you look even more specifically at this double bottom, you have bullish divergence, equal lows, higher lows in RSI, higher lows in MACD. You also have somewhat bullish price action where volume is extremely low, bouncing off that kind of right side bottom here. On the breakout, you have higher than average volume. Again, volume is going to be a little harder to read just because there are all these larger candles here. But of the last, you know, how many candles is 1, 2, 3, 4? The last 10 candles, 10-ish candles, you get a higher than average. Close above, we range, we break out further. Again, volume continues to rise as we reverse and go higher. So I would like to see something like this. I think we're right here in terms of the break, hit support, bounce. We'll do this, get that range and head higher. So I'm going to grab this and we'll compare. I always forget where this is. I think it's this. Just grab that. And let's go to Bitcoin's 4 hour. Where did it go? Really? Oh, it's probably down here. That's right, because it would open up at 40K. So okay, let's see. Right, we get the dump, we get the bounce. And look, I'm not like a pull up prior moves and it's going to happen exactly like this, but this is like the general rule for reversals. You get that kind of first bounce, right? You get another one. Obviously, we deviated, made that head. You get a third for that overall inverted head and shoulders with that clear neckline. Now, for here, again, I don't know if it'll be an inverted head and shoulders. I don't know if it'll be a double bottom. But it would be nice to see a dump, kind of retest again, prior support as resistance, come back down, range, and get that kind of double bottom or reversal pattern at the end. Again, very, very clean. Yeah, I'll take a look at AVAX for you. I'll look at a couple alts. Again, there's a lot of people in live stream. We got 1,100 people. Thank you all for being here. We started multi-streaming today, so I'm going to stream on X and YouTube. It just makes sense. I live streamed the debate last week, and we had 5,000 viewers. So if you were here, I appreciate you a ton. That was a lot of fun. And I kind of figured, like, why don't I multi-stream, right? Like, there's so much outreach on X. There's a lot of people that could probably learn a lot. And overall, I mean, it's just benefiting everybody, right? So, pretty nice to see this. And it seems pretty easy to use. I didn't realize there was it combined both chats, so that's awesome. But okay, kind of back to Bitcoin, right? The 4 hour. Again, there's not really much here. We don't really have any signs of reversal. We've got really low volume as we're kind of retesting prior support. And I guess we kind of tested as resistance here, but ultimately we bounced and we're testing it as resistance to likely head lower. And again, to kind of provide more basis or fact to that, we have this potential double top. Now, again, it's potential. It's nothing until we close below that midpoint, ultimately needing to head lower. I'd like to see volume on that as well, but we do have the divergences to back it up. we don't trend lower, that means I'll be in profit for the next year. So I actually started DCAing between 15 and 22,000. Actually, I started at 17.5, DCA'd all the way down to 15.5, and then DCA'd up all the way to 22. Once we broke 22, I stopped. So, I mean, those are long-term positions. I'm planning to hold them until we either go into a serious bull market or, you know, I somehow lose every bit of money I have and I need to take that money out. But ultimately, guys, they're long-term holdings. Twitter's chat is slow. I send the messages and you get it like a minute later. Yeah, I mean, that could also be because, like, I'm in the middle of something and, well, I guess if they're not showing up on the live stream. And this isn't like a diss, but if I'm in the middle of something, like, I'll get to your chats for sure, unless they're just, like, stupid side comments, then probably not. But, yeah, Twitter's chat seems a little slow. So, if I can speed that up or figure out a way, I will, but I don't think that there's a way. I think it has to do with Twitter and their live streaming service. So, okay, we've determined, you know, higher time frame Bitcoin, very, very bullish. Lower time frames, not a lot to look for in terms of longs. Look, if you're a scalper or a lower time frame trader, you could look for a short. If you didn't take one on this second peak, you could look for one on the confirmation of that double top. Again, this week I'm going to be so busy. I've got family in town. It's a holiday. My birthday is also this week. So for me, I'm not really watching a 30-minute and 1 hour. If the 4 hour gives me something, like if the 4 hour gives me a clean long setup, then yes. Like, I will be calling this out. We'll be taking it in Discord. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, again, tons of viewers today, guys. I love it. I can't say thanks enough for coming out and watching. If you're new, I live stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday around 5:30 Eastern. I have live streamed for like the last 2.5 years, but I haven't live streamed on X. So we've added multi-streaming. I will continue to multi-stream. Just glad you guys are here. Love the interactions. This is awesome. When is your birthday? July 3rd. Day before the 4th, man. I was hoping my mom could hold me for one more day, but she couldn't. I don't know what I'm going to do for my birthday. Don't really know. I don't really want to do anything, to be honest with you. I don't really like, it's not that I don't like celebrating. I just don't like all of the attention. Like, I hate when people sing happy birthday to me. Like, I just feel awkward. Like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. Maybe that's just like a cynical view. I'm not a big fan. Appreciate it, Steven. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, let's continue on. So Bitcoin dominance, this is kind of the alt question that you guys wanted answered. So a couple weeks ago, we had called out the fact that we have bearish divergences in RSI and MACD. We have higher highs in price, lower highs in MACD, lower highs in RSI. General sign of trend exhaustion, right? Bitcoin dominance has been an uptrend for 2 years. So the hope was, hey, we're probably going to see some kind of pullback, right? That pullback meaning, and I don't know how my other line got removed, but that's okay. That pullback meaning, and I'm actually going to do this just so you guys get the gist. So that pullback meaning just something slight, nothing major. And during that smaller pullback, alts like Ethereum, Link, Solana, your AI coins, maybe Doge, maybe Gala, not everything, but some stuff can kind of send and put in better gains in Bitcoin and do better than Bitcoin for once, because really we haven't seen alts do anything. Guys, if you think that we've already had an alt season, I would tell you that you're wrong. Bitcoin dominance has been in an uptrend for 2 years and has shown nothing but strength. Now, obviously, showing those signs of exhaustion. And to go into further detail, right? We know that the signs of exhaustion are there. Now, we have two options, right? If we bounce, right? If this week is just a small candle, again, it's a holiday week. There's not a lot going on. But I would say if we bounce next week and maybe the week after, this is now acting as consolidation to head higher, which again, we won't get that. Alt summer, and we'll likely see Bitcoin kind of lead the charge again. Again, I don't think alt season is here. Alt summer and alt season are completely different. Alt summer is, again, some of your larger caps like Ethereum, Link, and whatnot are going to pump. Not everything. Most things aren't going to move at all. But if we do break down, which again, you go to the 4 hour, right? We brought this up Thursday or Friday, or maybe Wednesday. We had this head and shoulders. We broke down, and now we've retested, right? We've retested that neckline, and all this is a range to potentially go lower. This is a good thing, right? This is our chance to break 54%. If we do, we're looking at alt summer, right? And just to kind of pull up that macro view again, you guys know that the lower time frames are showing that reversal pattern. If we do break down, maybe we, go back all the way down to 51 or 50%. That's perfect, right? A couple months, 2-3 months of seeing some alt gains is exactly what happened in 2020. In 2020, Bitcoin went from, 8.5 or 9 to 12,000. And then Ethereum, XLM, Link went from $2 to $22, right? You're looking at the rise of, or the beginning of rise to altcoins that really haven't done anything in over 2 years. What happened to Bitcoin? What the dominance is dump, or why is dominance dumping? So the only reason I can say that we would dump is, again, you're looking at that overall reversal on the 4 hour and that higher time frame exhaustion. But if we bounce and negate, so let's say we just bounce and negate this head and shoulders and head upwards, we're likely seeing the weekly consolidate to sort out these divergences, right? To create and put in bullish divergences so that we can continue an uptrend. Right? It's not a perfect system. And ultimately, guys, I want Bitcoin to continue taking dominance because it will lead to more liquidity into our alt season. And if you look at the bigger picture here, alt season will really happen when Bitcoin dominance, it's like 66 to 70%. And then we see that, that much larger move to the downside, similarly to what we saw here in 2021, right? And just to showcase this here. So for those of you that are like, oh, well, how do you know that? Like, how do you determine when alt season comes? So alt season actually started here, right? And how do you know that? So Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance, or just as a general, and let me take another step back. Bitcoin generally outperforms alts all the time. If Bitcoin is not outperforming alts, we are technically in alt season. So this is how you determine alt season. Bitcoin dominance. Now I know Bitcoin dominance was dropping throughout kind of this range and whatnot, but we had started the bull run, right? Bull run, right? Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance go up. We break 20K. We go all the way to 40K. As soon as we hit 40K, the entire market dumps, right? When the entire market dumps, in alts outperform Bitcoin, which again is shown by Bitcoin dominance also dumping tremendously. That's generally the sign that alt season is starting. Not to mention, Bitcoin continues to go up to 65K and dominance is still dropping. This was the entryway into alt season. This is when Ethereum took over. This is when Link hit $50. This is when I don't think Solana was doing as well. I mean, Solana went from cents to $52, but it had that secondary run in like July to November, which is pretty crazy. But Link, Ethereum, XLM, BNB, I believe also did very well until about May 2021. I think Doge also, Doge did very well. And now again, not every altcoin is going to do amazing, but most of them did. And you can see it clearly when Bitcoin dominance drops off. Yes, Doge was moving up right here, but we get that correction, right? We get that large correction on Doge, Bitcoin, and the whole market. Look what happens to Bitcoin dominance. It drops, right? That's a sign that alts have a lot of strength, and alts are likely going to outperform Bitcoin over the next several months. So I hope that kind of answers your guys' questions. Right now, I can't really give you a clear answer on are we going to have an alt summer or not. The only way I'd be able to confirm that is if we break below 54%, right? You open up the daily, we've got to break below 54%. We've acted as support twice and now almost a third time. But our 4 hour, again, you've got that head and shoulders. As long as we break down over the next, I'd say, week and a half to 2 weeks, we're golden. We'll likely get an alt summer. Again, there's fundamentals lining up. You have the Ethereum ETF being passed. You have the Ethereum ETF going live. You have the SEC case dropping, or the SEC dropping the case that Ethereum is a security versus a commodity. Now it's a commodity. So lots of bullish fundamentals also coming in play here. And the technicals are lining up to make this work as well. So hopefully we get it. I mean, I'd love to see Ethereum be $6,000-$7,000 before Bitcoin's at like 100 to 120K. With more number of alts in the market, do you think that alts will still go crazy? Yes, I think alts will go crazy. Just most of them, guys, you have to remember, like 99% of altcoins are scams and trash, and not all of them are going to get liquidity. So like doing this thing where you scan 100 altcoins a day is completely worthless. Like, look at the top 100 and just trade that or just buy that. That's all you got to do. So, all right, let's look at Ethereum and Ethereum to Bitcoin. Again, there's not going to be a lot to discuss. We just dumped. We just kind of bounced off support. There's not a lot of lower time frame stuff to look at, but higher time frame just for all the new people that haven't been here in a while. We do have ultimately bullish divergences, right? Like higher lows, lower lows in RSI. And I'm just going to do this quickly. The daily, again, we just bounced off support. We could head all the way up, but again, you're just kind of ranging here. There's not much on the daily that's indicating a massive reversal. I mean, maybe a little bit from MACD, but again, hard to imagine that MACD is the reason why we move higher. Let's look at the 4 hour, 1 hour real quick. So yeah, in the 4 hour and 1 hour, not really doing much, right? You've got this kind of bounce from the bottom. Volume's been going down the whole time. Not a lot to really see here. The 1 hour is going to look exactly the same. So, unfortunately, there's just not a lot to trade right now. It's just a lot of chop. How can you know what alts are not scams? There's actually, you can go to CoinMarketCap and look at the activity. I think the transaction activity. And if the alt has like none, it's probably a scam. Plus, like if it's not in the top 100, it's probably a scam. Like, or maybe the top 200. I mean, if it's something that also is labeled as a meme coin or a shit coin, I don't touch that stuff. And for rightful reason. Right? I'm a trader, not a gambler. If you want to go and gamble, then go and gamble. But I'm not putting $100,000 in dog ass coin. Right? I don't care about that stuff. And guys, I know you're gonna hear like, oh, but Dog Inu Paul coin went up 10,000% last week. Like, okay, but for every one Dog Inu Paul coin, there's 100,000 others. Guys, there's like 2 million coins now, which I just found out last week. I thought there was like 50,000. Anyways, for every one shit coin that does well, there's 100 to 1,000 others that are scams and don't do anything. So again, chasing those moves just aren't worth it. It's kind of a luck of a draw kind of deal. Let's look at Ethereum to Bitcoin. Yeah, kind of same thing with dominance, guys. We got to break this overall diagonal and ultimately get above 0.06112 to confirm anything. I mean, it's going to be a slow week this week. Yeah. But breaking that diagonal would be huge. If we can break the diagonal, we're looking golden. 0.06108, whatever this white line is. That's our biggest point of confirmation. Siri's listening to me. That's great. All right, I think someone wanted me to look at AVAX. Let me just scroll up in the chat. Can I look at AVAX? All right, I'll look at AVAX. Guys, I'm not going to look at a lot of altcoins today. We're an hour in. I've got to make dinner. Very hungry. AVAX, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily buy spot here. I know some of you guys are like, can you look at AVAX? Like, what do you want me to look at? Because it's not alt season. I wouldn't trade. I wouldn't trade this, right? Now, if you're like, hey, like, when would you buy spot? I would have bought spot here. And again, I was buying spot, not AVAX per se, but I was buying Bitcoin, Link, end of 2022, beginning of 2023, into like mid 2023. I was buying all of that time period. I don't know if I'd be buying right now. And a lot of that stems from if Bitcoin doesn't continue moving higher, alts are also not going to continue higher. So I'm not trying to shut down your guys' like alt suggestions, but until we get alt season, there is no reason to be trading alts, like at all. And rightfully so. On the weekly, there's no bullish divergences. Here on the daily, there's no trade setup, and that trade setup could be easily ruined by Bitcoin. The 4 hours kind of doing what Bitcoin's been doing. With it bounced nicely, but again, there's no trade setup. And moreover, guys, there's no reason to be trading alts unless it's alt season, or unless you see a drawdown from Bitcoin dominance, like we have the potential alt summer, so to speak. All right, I think I'm going to end the stream there. I'm not really sure what just happened to the multi-stream chat. So kind of good timing. It's been an hour. Thank you all of you that came out. We had 1,400 people. It says at the high. Awesome. I'm going to continue to the multi-streaming thing. It looks great. I think it's a great way to outreach and get more people, get more interaction. Both all that said, guys, just remember, be patient, users management, and good luck trading.